See, that's why my pick is Idris Elba. You know, that's the entire internet's pick right
Well,
now.
yeah, Idris
He's
Elba.
only
But
five,
he's too old.
Idris
he's
Elba
only
would
5
be.
years younger than Craig. He's only 5 years younger than Craig.
Yes, he's only 5 years younger. By the time, if Craig still does Bond 25, which that's a big if, that's going to take him even longer to get there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
My pick is Jack O'Connell.
Never
Nice.
heard of him.
He plays Louis Zamperini in Unbroken.
Never
yeah,
heard of
I've
that.
heard a lot of good things about him. It's the Angelina Jolie's first directed movie.
He's 25 years old. By the time the next Bond comes around, he'll be around 30. So good time to start for Jack O'Connell. I think he'd be good.
See,
Or
I
maybe
think
John
Idris-
Boyega. Or maybe John Boyega, if what I've heard about him is true.
I think he's gonna be way too busy with Star Wars.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
John
no
Boyega,
way
I've heard, is a
Boyega's going to
really
be.
good actor. I've never seen him in anything. The first time I'll see him will be in Star Wars. But
Boyega's never
if he
going to
were
be
not
Bond
busy-
because he's going to be.
If he,
He's going to be
Star Wars.
tied up with Star Wars.
yeah, like that's the other thing. So that's why I say Jack O'Connell.
and since I think Idris Elba is definitely out because of his age. By the time if we get Craig as a new movie or anything, so I either go with this can't happen again because of Kingsman, but Taron Egerton. I also want to see him as Wolverine, so that's another reason.
I would like to see Taron.
You know
Egerton
what I'd
as
say as
well
for you
Taron
know
Egerton's what did surprisingly well in Kingsman's, but again, he's busy with King 2 right
he's
now.
gonna be busy with
Matthew Vaughn.
Kingsman, and then the fact that he can't play a character that's so obviously referencing Bond
Well,
to then
yeah,
go and play Bond.
That's the other thing.
So my real pick would be Tom Hardy.
oh yeah definitely
He's 38 years old. I think he could do good.
Tom
And
Hardy.
he's not tied down by too much. I mean, he has Mad Max, but
Well,
other than that,
yeah, he's probably focusing on the next Mad Max with George Miller right now.
yeah. But I
But
mean,
yeah,
other than that,
Tom
he's
Hardy
not
was-
too busy. I mean, he's probably as busy as Daniel Craig was between his couple movies.
Well, yeah, that's probably the case.
So I think Tom Hardy is the best pick.
Yeah, I think he'd be good.
Do you want me
what else
to?
we got?
Can I go ahead and say something here? Daniel Craig played a James Bond XP in the second Tomb Raider movie, and then went on to play James Bond.
Wait,
he?
really?
Yeah,
He was in the second Tomb Raider movie?
he was in Tomb Raider. Yep.
There's a second Tomb Raider movie. That's my big.
Wait, there was a second Tomb Raider movie? I'm just realizing that.
Yeah.
Oh
Tomb
my
Raider
god,
film.
they made a sequel to that nonsense?
Yeah, I actually liked it. It was pretty good. Yeah, he was in.
Oh wow.
He was in Tomb Raider: Cradle of Life.
Oh, wunderbar.
See, and then I have a third or a fourth
I
pick. My
think
fourth pick.
here. Oh come on! Where the hell is Daniel Craig? I thought Daniel Craig was in this. Daniel Craig was in something like that.
The only
Okay,
thing I know him from before Bond was Layer Cake.
Oh come
That's
on!
think
considered
that's
the.
what-
I was
That's considered
con-
the role that got him Bond.
For
think
some
that's all
reason, I was
anyone-
confusing
think
Gerard
that's all
Butler
anyone knew him from.
with him. Jesus Christ!
Okay.
then I have-
Actually, what about Daniel Radcliffe? I think he could be good.
We can't. I can't do a Harry Potter
Good
Bond
point.
crossover.
Good point.
I think he would be good. Like I've had him on my list because I have him also on my list as the Doctor, but I
He's a
can't
good-
have that crossover.
Yeah, he is a good actor though. That's
He is. I've seen him on Broadway. I've seen him.
Oh no,
unfortunately,
he was in the
in-
original Tomb Raider. Daniel Craig was in the original Tomb Raider movie.
Oh, okay.
That was what
Okay,
I was
yeah.
thinking of.
Anyways, about Radcliffe, it would be cool to see him as Bond, but again, Harry Potter, just similarities there.
Well,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
we can't do that.
well, you know, Ian
Ian
Ian McKellen. Ian McKellen
Oh.
and played he played Gandalf and Magneto, so and
Well, good point.
Patrick Stewart played Captain Picard and Professor
Professor X.
Xavier.
Jack
But-
O'Connell is still my top choice. right
And,
now.
But Harry
Uh,
Potter is literally the biggest selling franchise of all time.
50 Shades of Grey beat it out.
Oh God,
Did
wait,
it? You serious?
Yep.
50 Shades of Crap actually beat Harry Potter?
Yes.
Oh my god. With the talent that's behind Harry Potter and the talent that's behind 50 Shades of Grey, that's crazy.
I refuse to cast anyone from 50 Shades of Grey unless they're Marsha Gay Harden in any movie I would make. Yes, Marsha Gay Harden was in 50 Shades of Grey. She won an Oscar, you know. Shouldn't winning an Oscar actually disqualify you from having to appear in a nonsense movie like 50 Shades of Grey?
What can you say about anything with Halle Berry now?
Oh, good point.
And then I think Henry Cavill would be a good Bond, but against Superman.
And also, The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah, that's what made me think of him. Like him and Man from U.N.C.L.E. was amazing. I'd love to see him as Bond. He almost got the part before Craig, and it just didn't happen. And I think he would have been good, but now
what
he's
about
be so busy with
Christian
Superman.
Bale?
He's 41. Christian Bale, that is. I think he might be good, but Batman.
Yeah, Batman.
Well,
then,
yeah, but you know,
Henry Cavill, he's 32 years old. I think he could be a good Bond.
well,
But
you know,
but when you look at him, he kind of looks like Christopher Reeve. So you're thinking Christopher Reeve.
yeah,
James Bond.
Henry
Cavill
is the perfect
Cavill
Superman.
has signed a massive
And
contract for Superman.
It's kind of like Brandon Routh. It's kind of like how Brandon Routh looks like Christopher Reeve.
Except Henry Cavill, I think looks more like their traditional Superman.
Yeah, but
yeah, he's gonna be way too busy.
Cavill is
brand
signed
new-
on for the Justice League franchise, and
he's gonna be making cameos in all the other movies.
Christian
we know.
Bale
He's
isn't
gonna be-
actually doing a whole lot right now. No, plus he's British, but you never think that considering how bad his British accent is.
Well,
How
he's
often
from
he plays
Wales.
American.
He's from Wales.
And then I know a lot of people are saying Fassbender.
He lives
Michael
in Los
Fassbender?
Angeles now.
Yeah, a lot of people are putting up Fassbender for it.
Well, that would
Bale
make
Bale lives in Los Angeles.
yeah, that would make sense. You know, Michael Fassbender might be able to do it, but he's
I'd watch that. I'd watch Michael Fassbender. As
But he
Bond.
I
is-
can't wait to see him in Macbeth.
he's Magneto right now, so he's not really able to play a Bond. I don't think because he's
Well, yeah,
working
good
on
point.
now that he's done
Yeah.
with
That's
jobs.
the
He's
same
working
thing with-
on the
That's the same thing with James McAvey right now, in a way.
yeah, but now that
Yeah.
he's done with the Steve Jobs movie, then he's moving on to
Yeah, all the
he's
X-Men
moving on
movies.
to the next X-Men movie.
Yeah, and how many of you think James McAvey, who plays younger Xavier, would be a good Bond?
Nah.
Or who
Yeah,
wants
I'm
to
just
see
going
Ben?
to.
Or who wants to see Ben Kingsley as a Bond villain?
Oh
That would
yeah,
be awesome.
it would.
But Ben Kingsley's been going downhill recently, though. So
Oh yeah, like
it depends on which one we're getting.
Yeah,
Are we getting
you know,
Gandhi
give me
or
the-
are we getting Iron Man 3?
They robbed
I'll take
him.
Iron Man 3 if I
They
don't have
robbed
to.
him of the Mandarin.
I will
hate
take
that. They
Iron
robbed him
Man-
of the Mandarin.
I
And
will
he
take
was-
Iron Man 3 Ben Kingsley over Blood Rain Ben Kingsley.
Oh, he was actually kind of funny in Blood Rain though, because like the way he performs the entire time, it's like, Blood Rain, is that what I'm doing? Okay, let me wake up. Blood Rain, is that what I'm doing? Okay, I need some alcohol. Like, give me something to make me wake up. That's him the entire movie. I'm just laughing every time Ben Kingsley's on the
Ben
screen.
Kingsley's like one of the greatest actors out there, but
And
you wouldn't know that recently. If you've only watched his last 10 years of movies, you'd say he's one of the worst actors, but he's
Yeah.
honestly one of the best working actors
Yeah.
right now.
And he got robbed of the Mandarin, which he was perfect for.
Well, you know what they're saying is there are rumors floating around that he actually is the Mandarin and that this was a double cross.
Yeah, like that. I don't believe
Which
that.
even then, that's just going to be a fan service where like, oh
Right.
yeah, people don't like what we did, so...
It just feels stupid to me. Like,
It was like
guys, you wasted Ben Kingsley. Admit you wasted Ben Kingsley.
They
And get
wasted
on with
Hugo
it.
Weaving.
Oh, they did as the Red Skull. Yeah.
They
No,
wasted all
he's
their
coming
villains
back.
except for Loki.
He's coming back.
Jeff Bridges, Tom Hiddleston, and James Spader. They're the only ones who have not been wasted in Marvel movies.
Oh, they wasted James Spader.
Hugo Weaving
Well,
is coming back as the
wait.
Red Skull soon.
Is he? Because I kept hearing that every time that he's signed to a contract, but he
They
said
say
that,
that-
if they bring him back, he will phone it in like no other.
They say that Martin Freeman would be back as the Red. That's what Martin Freeman's in the new Captain America.
Bilbo
movie.
Baggins as the
say
Red
he-
Skull.
They say he might be. They say that might be what his secret character is.
Yeah, because he's not allowed to say much right now. But no, he
But
said that he works. He said he works for the government.
I think he's going to be
Martin
Doctor.
Freeman has-
I think he's going to be
The Red
Doctor
Skull was
Watson.
Secretary of Defense at one time. The Red Skull was Secretary of Defense at one time.
Was he?
Yeah, in the comics, he was U.S. Secretary of Defense at one time.
Hang on.
It's
What if
Del
Martin
Rusk.
Freeman is Norman Osborn?
I couldn't see that.
No.
No,
I want- I
we're
want
not
McConaughey.
talking about James Bond right now. So let's.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good.
Anyway,
Let's
yeah.
back to
Off
Bond.
track. Oh, speaking of Martin Freeman, what do you guys think of Cumberbatch?
Benedict
I mean,
Cumberbatch?
he's gonna be too busy for MCU right now, but in theory, how would you think of him as Bond?
I could see that.
I
think
could
he'd
see
be
that.
great as Bond.
I would like him as James Bond.
He's one of my favorite actors. I think he could really rock it. And he could really.
Cumberbatch is great.
My name.
He needs to break away from Sherlock, I think, a little bit.
James Bond. Just
also,
imagine
he's gonna
him.
be Dr.
Just imagine him
Right
doing that. In that same pose as he was in Into Darkness, in the same tone of voice, saying, "My name is Bond.
My name
James Bond."
Bond. My name is
I think,
Bond.
but yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. So I'd really like to try to see him as a villain again.
Cumberbatch could be a great Bond villain, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that'll be a one movie thing. He can get it in between his MCU stuff, between his Sherlock stuff.
Oh
Yeah,
hell, he's not even doing a whole lot of Sherlock these days. Nobody's doing a whole lot of Sherlock
because it's to fit in between everything else.
It's a 2-year gap. It's a 2-year gap in production.
Mark Strong. Wouldn't he be a great Bond villain? Mark Strong.
I don't know. I know he's best friends with Daniel Craig. I just found that out. I just can't see him as a villain. I can obviously see him as a villain because he always is, but I can't see him as a Bond villain.
I have no idea who this guy is.
Sinestro.
He was in Kingsman.
He was also Sinestro in Green Lantern.
Oh, okay.
Mark Strong is a great actor.
Oh, he was in Sherlock. He was in the 09 Sherlock Holmes film. He was in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, Zero Dark 30, Robin Hood, Kick-Ass, John Carter, Imitation Game, Escape, Kingsman.
Who'd love to see Gary Oldman?
Oh yeah, perfect.
Gary Oldman.
But he's always a villain now.
No, not as Bond. I mean, play a villain.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's always a villain now, but he's kind of been typecasted as that, except for Commissioner Gordon.
Gary
he was perfect as Gordon. He was perfect as Gordon.
Gary Oldman was my first choice for Soichiro Yagami in the American adaptation of Death Note.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think he's got the look. I mean, if it weren't for the fact that... Well, actually, hang on.
What do you guys think? James Bond, directed by Steven Spielberg.
James Bond, directed by Michael Bay.
No, definitely wouldn't do it right.
No.
That's also another thing I want to bring up, because Sam Mendes, this is his last Bond film, so...
He said that about Skyfall, though.
Well, yeah, but then he decided this when I think he's finally officially done.
Maybe. Sam Mendes is a good director, though. Like, Road to Perdition...
That opening shot, that was beautiful. In Skyfall, where the opening shot with that long tracking shot, that was so beautifully well done. And Skyfall, of course, had some of the most beautiful cinematography of any film.
Oh yeah, it was great, Skyfall. I enjoyed it. Even if it's kind of overrated, I still very much enjoy Skyfall.
And you have to admit that Sam Mendes is a great, great director. And everything.
He is. Like, Road to Perdition, that was awesome.
Yeah, I was just going to say, hey, if it weren't for the fact that Death Note came out before the Dark Knight trilogy came out, I would say that the character of Soichiro Yagami was based on that version of Commissioner Gordon. But, Gary Oldman looks like Commissioner Gordon anyways, so...
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he does. That's funny how a lot of actors these days kind of look like comic book characters a lot.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman looks exactly like Wolverine, just taller.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's Tom. What do you guys think? Would Tom Hiddleston be good as Bond?
I can't see him as not a villain anymore.
I would love to see him as Bond.
I would too, but I can't see him as not a villain between, of course, Loki, and we just saw him in Crimson Peak.
Oh yeah, like Hiddleston would be perfect as a Bond villain though. Like maybe he's like an equal assassin or something that Bond has to face off
006. Bring him in as 006.
Oh yeah, that could work.
Just go
008.
Yeah, go in for a GoldenEye remake again.
Or 009. We had a 009 reference. Maybe 009 turns on him.
Well, but if you want to talk about
that'd be weak though. Like
00 agents,
because he stole my car or something.
If you want to go on, if you want to make a callback to 00 agents that have gone bad, at 006 definitely, because of GoldenEye. Go back to if you want to do that, remake GoldenEye again. I mean, I consider the new GoldenEye game part of the Craig continuity because it is so good.
I haven't played it myself, but unless Eon Productions officially confirms or denies it,
it was developed by Eon Productions.
Well, they haven't officially commented on it, so I'm not considering it either officially part of or not officially part of it.
Well, like I said, they freaking developed it, so if they developed it.
They own the character, so
Yeah.
And if it's as good as everyone says it is, then I'd like Eon to make more of the games.
Eon, there hasn't been a good Bond.
Eon's
Bond game.
Eon's video game division and shuttered after Legends.
What? Oh yeah, because the negative reception it got. Let me
no,
they
were closing up after that, anyways. As they said that was going to be their last Bond game, no matter what.
What a terrible game to go out on.
That was a bad idea for a game. You do not follow up something as good as GoldenEye with a glorified clip show.
Yeah.
That's what it was?
Yeah.
I haven't played it.
It was like a greatest hits of Bond things.
Publisher was Activision, developer was Eurocom.
Mm-hmm.
Are they making any more Bond games? I'd really like to see them do it.
I want, if they were going to do that, they should have made a Skyfall game.
Well, movie license games tend to be hard to do unless they're James Bond for some reason. So
I mean, we've seen this Mad Max turn out to be a pretty horrible game, and everybody thought that was going to be awesome.
Mediocre, as they would say.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Exactly.
American actors in the Australian outback, please.
Yeah, in the Australian outback, populated by a disturbing number of North American accents. This is made by a French-Canadian company, so.
I mean, they did the same thing, with
Couldn't
all
get
the
them.
Assassin's Creed games.
Okay,
so, yeah.
well, like Tara Strong, Troy Baker, and Yuri Lowenthal, they're in everything because they're closer by and easier to bring the travel over. I get that, but you can't have anyone from Australia record their own lines and email them to you, or just
they can't fake it.
Or you can't have anyone even try to do an Australian accent.
Have me putting on some fake Australian accent.
Troy Baker's a good voice actor. He can probably pull it off.
I saw the opening cutscene.
That's another thing is that people like to say that there should only be Brits playing Bond. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that completely.
I agree.
How do you think you can fake the accent?
Adam West was offered the role. He turned it down, though, because he said he believed James Bond should always be played by a British actor.
Like, I believe Bond should always be British. I believe that...
he is British.
Yeah.
Bond should always be British. Captain America should always be played by an American guy.
Right.
Even if you can fake the accent, I don't think that's enough. Like, you can fake a British accent, but even that's not going to be enough to play Bond.
Yeah, Jai Courtney fakes his American accent all the time. Look how well that turns out.
Yeah, finally we're going to get him in his real accent here.
Well, I'm still not optimistic because he's terrible at acting, because he's
we'll see now that he doesn't have to focus on his accent. So we'll see.
Well, but based on what little we've seen from him in the trailer for Suicide Squad, he still looks pretty bad.
They might be trying to do that on purpose.
So. Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know.
See, I have another pick for Bond, which is Armie Hammer, but I disqualify him because he's American.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like,
I think he'd be good, but he only should be British.
Yeah, Captain America should always be American. James Bond should always be British.
The Doctor should always be British or Scottish.
Yeah, I prefer Scottish for Bond. I guess that's because of Sean Connery, but
yeah,
I'm fine so long as he remains British.
Yeah, I mean, we can keep him Irish because, like I said, Fassbender.
That's close enough. That's cool.
Well, yeah.
Fassbender was born in Germany.
Was he? I thought he was.
No, he lives in London now. He was born in Germany to Irish parents.
That's confusing. It's almost as bad as Andrew Garfield.
Well, yeah, he was born in Los Angeles, but raised to American parents, but raised in the UK.
You guys think he would be a good Bond?
I'm willing to give him a chance.
Sure.
I'm willing to give Garfield. I'm willing to give Garfield a chance.
I want to see Andrew Garfield doing. Andrew Garfield is 30 years old, and he looks like he's 16.
And I'd like to see him actually play someone his age.
Actually, have you seen? Speaking of age, have you seen him recently? He's grown a beard out now. He looks older.
Yeah, he did that for his.
He's 39.
Yeah,
he kind of looks like 39 now.
Yeah, he looks older now.
If we're talking about changing out Craig, if Craig has to leave, Andrew Garfield is definitely somebody who should be at the top of the list because.
Oh yeah, I think he'd be great.
Mm-hmm. I also like David Oyelowo.
David Oyelowo?
Yeah.
No.
I don't see the appeal of him.
No. He's too heavy.
A good actor.
He's too heavy.
He's a good.
Yeah, that's it. But... I mean, he's literally too heavy. But I mean, you could change that. But...
I mean, yeah, but the thing is, he's not lithe enough to be Bond. He's got, he is too
melancholy.
He is way too it's not just that he's too heavy. It's that his build is all wrong.
Well, they can easily change that.
No, I mean like his body structure. You know, well, he doesn't seem like he could do the running on the rooftops and things like that.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Well, there's a lot of stunts that don't seem possible for anyone in Bond movies.
I mean, he should be he should be agile, but he's also built like a tank, like we saw in, man, I forget what that was. That was Casino Royale, right, where they were doing the parkour chase. And instead of going through the window, he literally busts through the wall.
Yeah.
Who, Craig?
Yeah.
Whereas he's chasing the guy, he just decides, screw the window, I'm just going through the wall.
Yeah.
Where he should be quick and agile like that, but he should be able to build like a tank and be able to take it. Like, we see him literally punch through a wall in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the wall was weak enough, though, so I can forgive that.
Here's Jimmy!
Punched right through it.
Here's Bondy!
Yeah, I think he should be...
Here's Sonny!
And Andrew Garfield has that kind of build to him where I think he could do it.
Yeah, which is why he was able to pull off the Spider-Man stunts.
Yes, he had the perfect build for Spider-Man, too.
He was good as Spider-Man. He was better as Spider-Man than Maguire was, but I prefer Maguire as Peter Parker, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, we covered that last week.
Yeah, we did that last week. Shame you couldn't be here for that.
Yeah, sorry, just some stuff to deal with here. Anyways, so now we've talked about actors. Is there anyone else we could think of as a villain or Bond?
I would like to see, maybe get Steven Seagal in as a Bond villain.
Nah.
Nah, have you seen him lately?
I have seen not him.
I just think that would be funny as a joke.
He does not look...
It'd be like putting Sylvester Stallone as a Bond villain. I mean, it's just, you don't do that anymore.
He is not well in shape anymore.
Yeah. But just have him be the guy that Bond just, does the "this is Sparta" and kicks him off the edge of a building.
Gerard Butler as a Bond villain.
I could see that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's already busy with the Has Fallen franchise now.
Is that what he's doing now?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Olympus has fallen, now London has fallen. They're going to try to make...
Right, I forgot he was in that.
They're trying to make it the next Die Hard right now.
Why didn't they...
It's...
why did they call it... why did they call it Olympus Has Fallen if it's focused on Washington?
Because the White House, that's like its code name, I think, Olympus.
Oh.
The director for Olympus did not return. Antoine Fuqua, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He has not returned for London.
If Heath Ledger wasn't dead, I'd say that he could probably do a good Bond villain.
How old would he be right now?
He'd probably be in his late 30s, right? Maybe lower 40s.
He was 28 when he died. He'd probably be in his mid 30s right now. Mid to late 30s right now. So I could see him as Bond. Yeah.
See, but the problem is if Heath Ledger was still alive, he'd be in everything right now.
Oh, he would. Yeah, what they're doing with Chris Pratt. Hey, I like Chris Pratt, but they're throwing him in everything right now.
He would have been the guy, if he hadn't died, he would have been, the Joker would have played a much bigger part in Dark Knight Rises.
And maybe it would have.
And maybe Dark Knight Rises would actually have been better than just tolerable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Dark Knight Rises is a C for me. It's kind of tolerable, and I love the performances, but you can clearly tell between parts that there's too many plot holes, and Nolan just didn't care because he didn't want to make it in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
2015. Let's see, he'd have been 30 in 2009. Add
maybe around
6
35,
years. He'd be 35, 36 years old. Okay, Speaking of which, what about the other guy, the guy who played Two-Face?
Aaron Eckhart.
Aaron Eckhart. Yeah, but could he play a good villain?
Oh, he'd be great. Aaron Eckhart's awesome.
But we haven't seen much from him since Two-Face. I mean, he's going to be in London Has Fallen, but, I mean, other than that...
He played the president in both of the Has Fallen movies. But
was he the president in the first one, too?
Yeah. I, Frankenstein, right after Olympus.
Yeah, because everybody loved that one.
Incarnate, it's an upcoming supernatural film.
Let's see here.
I mean, he kind of fell off. I mean, he's like the guy who played Maroni. No, not Maroni, the other one.
After The Dark Knight, there was Love Happens and Battle Los Angeles.
Battle Los Angeles was Battle Los Angeles was pretty good, but
no, it was awful. Aaron Eckhart was the only good part of Battle Los Angeles.
Like I said, Battle Los Angeles was pretty good for what it was, but it definitely needed to be better.
Jonathan Leibsman, the same guy who directed the recent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film. Now, I did not grow up with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but that movie was bad. That movie was bad.
I didn't even try to see it.
I grew up with it, and I thought it was pretty good.
Okay, well, let's talk about that for another day. You guys can if
we'll do a Turtles cast sometime.
Okay, so let's about Bond. Now that we've talked about actors and such, Spectre. Back to Spectre. What do you guys think of Christoph? About Christoph Waltz? I think we talked about him. I think he's underused, but
I think he's menacing, though. The times that he's in, he's very menacing.
Well, he is menacing. He does a great job of what he's got, but he's got.
I mean, he's a very small guy, and he can feel his presence.
But he's underplayed at times, and also the way I admire what Spectre tried to do, combine like Bond with some Orwellian philosophy. I like that, but
yep, there was a lot of 1984 in there. They even bring it up. George Orwell's worst nightmare. They bring it up when they're inside the building.
But there's so much. But the problem is they don't really fully develop it. I don't think.
There were some parts that felt rushed. I mean, that whole underline with C and Andrew Scott was really rushed.
Yeah, the Orwellian subplot was rushed and underplayed, especially with the whole Nine Eyes thing. Like all these countries coming together. Okay, who are these countries? South Africa, China, the UK, the US, Russia, France. All of these countries are forming the Nine Eyes. Don't half of them hate each other?
Well, I mean, it kind of happened in real life, but off of actual politics there.
Well, the Five Eyes is the US, the UK, New Zealand, Australia, and Canada. That's the Anglosphere. That's why it works. We're the Anglosphere, but how does it work here with these guys? I didn't really get that.
Well, I mean, they kind of hint at the fact that Spectre is causing these problems to get them to join because they're going to feel safer. Like they mentioned that South Africa hasn't joined, and then all of a sudden South Africa is hit by a major terrorist attack. So out of fear, they go toward...
we got hit by this one thing. What are we going to do? We generally hate we generally distrust Western countries.
But right now they're a necessity.
Let's join up with them.
They're already offering their help. So all we have to do is say yes. I think that's what the whole point was.
I get that, but something like just a terrorist attack in one nation, in one city of them, wouldn't be enough to bring them to go in permanent partnership. It'd like a temporary working together, but they'd have to have something like attacks all across the whole country for that to happen.
Yeah, we don't want to get into too much politics. Like, then we get Star Wars Episode 1. We don't want to do that.
But they want to make these things realistic, but it doesn't feel that way.
Didn't they already have a bunch of terrorist attacks in Skyfall?
Oh yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah, that could have led up to that.
We had the entire MI6 building was destroyed, and it had to be completely demolition because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
demolished.
They already went to politics. They already went to politics technically with Casino Royale because funding international terrorism. They literally said that. So
yeah, because that was the reason he had to go to play the poker game.
Even though they could have arrested him, even though they knew where the guy was already, they could have just arrested him then and there.
Yeah.
Like that.
Little plot holes here and there.
That bugs me. The poker game was pretty much unnecessary, but it's still really.
It was just a way to get him in there because he was the best poker player, so we could see how Bond became Bond. It was just kind of a.
Hey, what would you guys think about Peter Dinklage as a Bond villain?
That'd be fun to see. That'd be fun.
Would be almost as fun as Stephen Hawking.
Oh, put them together. Put them together. Put them together. Stephen Hawking makes all the inventions while Peter Dinklage is the guy with the plans for domination.
And we just made the next Austin Powers movie.
I'd love to see that.
Now I'm going to contact Mike Myers and see if we can get the rights to that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I really felt... The only person I feel was really, really underutilized besides Monica was Andrew Scott. Like I said, he plays one of the best villains, ever. And he's barely used in this. He's not very frightening. He's not... And he has one of the worst deaths I've ever seen.
He doesn't even try to hide it. you couldn't be more obvious if you put a neon sign on him flashing saying
I'm bad guy.
I'm the bad guy, like, or just have him with his big boy pants on with a dirty diaper over his face and signs all over him saying I'm the bad guy. Audience, of course you're all Andrew Scott.
We've seen him play a very menacing villain, and he's very underplayed in this. He doesn't really even try. We kind of get it at the very, very end, which might I add, why do these like special agents and killers not know when their gun doesn't have bullets in it?
Yeah, how do they not realize it? Like in the first Casino Royale,
this has happened to Bond a couple times. This has happened to now C.
Like in the first Casino Royale, when Bond confronts the traitor MI6 guy, he pulls out the gun. He doesn't realize from the weight of the gun that there's no magazine in it.
Yeah, so we had the same thing in Die Another Day.
Like, because I've seen pistols being used in real life, and I've held a pistol before.
There's a big weight difference when you don't have any bullets in there.
Yeah, and that happened in this movie too. And the only time Andrew Scott was
an adrenaline
his last 5 minutes.
I was just gonna say, an adrenaline rush can really cloud your thinking, even if you're trained. So, you might just be thinking, get the gun, shoot the guy. Oh crap, I'm dead.
But the way Andrew Scott did in this movie, he was very relaxed. He was just he was pulling it out, and he was going to go shoot him. It wasn't like an adrenaline filled, I'm just going to kill him right now. It was just kind of a slow, methodical thing.
Yeah.
We think by the time he would have shot him, he would have noticed. Like,
Andrew Scott was only good for his last 5 minutes of the movie.
And then he dies in one of the worst deaths I've ever seen.
Like, it's the old, what? I'm about to trip, ah! And I die.
Yeah. Like, I kind of saw a little bit more Moriarty when he was about ready to fall, because he does the same thing when Sherlock holds him over the edge.
Oh, he does?
He does, like, the same kind of arm wavy thing, and, like, that same look, where he could really feel like he was Moriarty there, and then he just falls.
I mean, I like the face he made. That's generally something anyone would make when they're about to fall to their death, I think. But the waving the arms thing, like, really, dude?
Like, he did the same exact movement as Moriarty.
He didn't actually fall as Moriarty, though.
No, he didn't, but when Sherlock grabbed him and he held him over the edge...
Yeah, I
remember
that.
His arm wavies.
I remember that.
In the Sherlock with Robert Downey Jr.?
No, the movies with Benedict Cumberbatch, or the TV show with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Well, technically you could call them movies, since they are an hour and a half long.
Yeah, they're an hour and a half long, and there's only 9 of them so far.
Well, yeah. Like, because don't they make, like, 3 episodes a season with that?
Yes. Well, this year we're going to get 4, because we get the special.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Andrew Scott has been wasted as a Bond villain. Who else could they
and now that he's dead, we can't use him again.
So who can we use as a Bond villain, like, besides, like, Alan Rickman or Kevin Spacey, and not waste them?
It's obvious Christoph Waltz is going to be back. We can't use Blofeld for half a movie.
Well, if this is Craig's last movie, then...
they have a very different attitude towards these things nowadays than they used to. It's like, when villains die in comic book movies, they usually stay dead.
I mean, we see that with Moriarty now. Moriarty's coming back.
Which doesn't make any sense. He shot himself in the head!
Yes, I know, but...
Well...
Can we really have Andrew Scott coming back from the dead twice?
Well, there are people in real life who have been shot in the head and survived.
Gun, mouth, 45 caliber, her Magnum pistol.
Wait.
We watched him blow his brains out and the blood running across.
He was shot with a 44 Magnum.
He had this massive Desert Eagle type gun.
Okay, yeah, he's totally dead.
In his mouth.
In his mouth.
He's totally dead. A 44 Magnum can easily blow your head clean off, leaving not even a speck of dust. And if he has a 50 Action Express Desert Eagle, he's totally dead.
Yeah, and they're bringing him back. So can we really have Andrew Scott coming back twice?
Well,
Scott is dead in both of these things. There's no way he's alive.
And he fell pretty far. He fell a couple stories.
So did Sherlock Holmes.
Well, we don't even know how that happened.
In the
Robert Downey Jr. movie? They never explained it in either version.
Like Benedict Cumberbatch says, he's like, I don't even know I don't even think I know how Sherlock survived that.
Neither does
I don't blame him.
Robert Downey Jr. In the Robert Downey Jr. movies, they didn't explain it either, and they're supposedly making a third one of those.
Yep.
Apparently, yeah. Still, I would love to see, like... I would love to see either of these guys, either Rickman or Spacey as a Bond villain.
What would you think
of? I want to see Christoph Waltz come back and get Blofeld, and I want to see Batista come back as Jaws, where somehow in that train, when he was pulled off the train, his teeth came out. He replaced them with the Jaws teeth.
Yeah, and I like the
I want to see him come back as Jaws.
What would you guys think of David Tennant as James Bond?
Wait, let me look that up. I don't think
he was the 10th Doctor.
10th Doctor, and he's gonna be in Jessica Jones.
I haven't seen any Doctor Who, but I know he's going to be the villain in Jessica Jones. And if he does, he's 44 years old right now.
I don't care. He's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
He's great as the Doctor, and he could do like every accent. He's Scottish, but he played English in Doctor Who. He's played American and that one miniseries he was on. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be English or American in Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Well, if he's as good as Vincent D'Onofrio is as Wilson Fisk, then
I'm sure he will be. He was a phenomenal Doctor. He was my favorite.
Yeah. What about
Charlie Cox?
What about maybe Matt Smith?
Yeah, I was just about to say, what about Matt Smith? I don't think so. He's not built right.
What about him as a villain?
He's not built right, and I can't see him as...
What about Charlie Cox?
He's going to be too busy with Daredevil, because I'm sure that's going to cross over to the MCU.
Okay, what about the... What about, Oh, come on, what was his... Oh, I can't remember his name. Who... The... Ninth Doctor guy.
Christopher Eccleston.
What about him as a Bond villain?
No. As a villain, maybe. But don't forget, he played Malekith.
He did?
He was in Thor 2. He played Malekith. He was absolute garbage, but that was, again, writing, because it was a Marvel villain.
Yeah, and also it was directed by Alan Taylor, the same guy who made Terminator Genisys. Our name is totally not stupid. What the hell was that? Genisys or whatever?
Genesis.
It was like some system administration.
It was supposed to be Genesis.
It was supposed to be
Genesis of the system.
System, yeah. It's supposed to play on system.
Yeah, I know what it was, but the way they spelled it is just one of those stupid hipster trying to be cool things.
No, it was a stupid 90s he's trying to be cool thing.
Wait. Yeah, the SYS at the end stood for system.
Okay, that's still stupid on its own. But anyways,
Terminator. The fact that save that for the Terminator podcast.
And my add Matt Smith is now... He was in the last Terminator movie.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Smith was in the last Terminator movie. He's probably going to be playing a big baddie if they keep going on, because he is...
Terminator,
he was Skynet.
Oh, I thought he was supposed to...
Speaking of Terminator, keep Jai Courtney away from Bond. Keep Jai Courtney away from Bond.
I'm going to see how he does as Captain Boomerang, and then I'll really give him my final. I don't like what he's been doing so far, but I think he might do a good Captain Boomerang.
I hope he's the character that Waller makes an example out of and just kills.
It's gonna be Slipknot or one of those guys nobody cares about.
That was the guy from. That was the guy from Good Day to Die Hard.
Who?
He played.
Yeah, he played Bruce Willis's son.
Yeah. Okay, he's not. Yeah, he's not. He's not bad, but that was not a good movie.
Yeah, that was just a bad movie overall. Nobody did good on that.
His first movie was Boys Grammar. He was in Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise.
He was in Terminator Genesis.
He was in Stone Bros. A Good Day to Die Hard.
Oh God, he was Kyle Reese. Oh no, that guy is not cut out to be Kyle Reese.
This guy is not Kyle Reese. This is some guy called Kyle Reese who's trying to convince us he's Michael Biehn as Kyle Reese.
Mm-hmm.
This is some guy who's named Kyle Reese who's trying to convince us that he can be the same Kyle Reese that Michael Biehn played.
They should have gotten.
And then, of course, we have Matt Smith in there as Skynet, who for some reason is using his American accent. I don't know why he's not British in it.
Because he's a British guy. Of course, we have to make him do an American
Moving away from Bond here.
Because Christian Bale was in it.
Yeah, anyway. But yeah,
Bond.
Back to Matt Smith as a villain. I don't... We've only seen him as that little bit as Skynet. So I don't know if he can be a good villain or not. I think he has potential
to be. Did you see that episode of Doctor Who where he was the Cybermaster?
Yes, that was the one that I liked, and I really... What was that? The Silver Nightmare, yes, he was perfect as that, where he had that duality of him, but again, we haven't seen enough. We only had that little bit of him as the Cybermaster, and he's a very good actor. I think he's probably the best actor to ever play Doctor Who, even though 10's still my favorite.
Would anyone say either Eddie Redmayne or Martin Sheen, if not for Jupiter Ascending and Twilight?
I still like Eddie Redmayne, even though he did Jupiter Ascending. I think he has a lot of potential in him. I loved him in Theory of Everything.
I meant to say Michael Sheen. My mistake. Michael Sheen.
Oh,
I know he meant, yeah.
Get.
Would anyone say Michael Sheen or Eddie Redmayne, if not for Jupiter Ascending and Twilight.
Yeah, I think that.
I'd say get Martin Sheen as a villain.
Do you think so?
Maybe he could be either a villain or as Q.
He plays a very good villain. No, don't recast Q. I love Q.
I know. I'm just saying. If you have to have an older Q, and the younger Q, Martin Sheen would be awesome. But
we've had Martin Sheen as a very good villain in the Mass Effect games. He played the Elusive Man.
Oh, that was Martin Sheen?
Yes, that was Martin Sheen. He did a phenomenal job. So I think he could be a good villain. I mean, the Elusive Man is one of the best video game villains I've seen.
Huh. Mark Hamill, I think. I don't know why. I think Mark Hamill could be good as a villain.
We're gonna bring that up on another podcast.
Speaking of Mark Hamill as a villain, that brings us to the Joker, which brings us to Skyfall.
Yeah.
A lot of people say Skyfall is a ripoff of The Dark Knight.
I mean, it definitely, you could see the influences in it. I mean,
I wouldn't call it a ripoff. It doesn't really directly copy The Dark Knight that much.
Yeah.
It just has the same style.
Well, a lot of movies have the same style as The Dark Knight.
I know. As soon as Christopher Nolan came out with his Dark Knight trilogy, everybody started copying that style.
Yeah.
And
that's the new thing.
Nolan's one of my favorites. Martin Scorsese is the best living director right now, but let's ignore that for now.
And I guess Nolan was supposed to do
what would you guys
Spectre.
think of What would you guys think of Nolan or Scorsese directing a Bond movie?
Yeah, what I was saying is, I guess Nolan was approached to do Spectre before they brought back Sam Mendes.
Get
Nolan.
Nolan.
He was approached and he almost did it.
But Mendes is a good director. Mendes is good.
He is. I think Nolan wouldn't bring the right taste to it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's part of the. That's
he's
another
a
thing with Nolan.
Very good director. But first off, his dialogue is garbage. Everything he's ever directed has what's the word?
I do appreciate how he tries to be, how he loves to be philosophical and all that. I enjoy philosophical.
He has to explain every single thing.
At least he ain't Frank Miller.
Like that for Bond.
And Nolan is not good with emotional scenes. Let's be honest. As great as Nolan is at movie making, he's not good with emotional scenes, and you can definitely see
can't direct actors in those scenes. He has Oscar-winning actors doing these performances,
you can definitely see it in Interstellar.
Interstellar
probably has the best emotional scene of any Nolan film, and it's mostly through Matthew McConaughey's performance.
Yeah.
Scorsese would definitely do a good job because he does a good job on everything.
Way too much on his plate.
Scorsese's has at least one classic film from every decade he's directed.
But he has. Have you guys seen all the movies he wants to make? He has a lot of movies, and honestly, sadly, he doesn't have much time left.
Yeah.
There's Silence with
I'd want to see him do his other movies first. I want to see his Sinatra pick. I want to see his H.H. Holmes pick. I want to see all the movies he has on his plate, but he doesn't have time.
Martin Scorsese should be allowed to make whatever movie he wants for as long as he lives. For as long as he lives.
Kubrick should have had that. Hitchcock should have had that, but unfortunately,
Steven Spielberg has that, thankfully.
Yeah.
And so does Clint Eastwood, and
sadly for that, when we had J. Edgar Hoover.
Well, Clint Eastwood is great.
J. Edgar Hoover.
I heard. He play Hoover? I thought that was DiCaprio.
No, DiCaprio played
Oh.
Hoover. What's his name?
Eastwood directed it. DiCaprio played Hoover, which again, that is the worst casting I've ever seen. But anyway, off of that.
Good director, good actor.
I haven't seen it, but DiCaprio's amazing, guys. DiCaprio's amazing.
DiCaprio's one of my favorite actors out there right now. He's brilliant. I can't wait for The Revenant.
But what's wrong with him as Hoover?
Have you seen Hoover and have you seen DiCaprio?
No, I haven't. I know what DiCaprio looks like. I haven't seen the movie, but let's not focus on that for now.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But Skyfall had a lot of Golden Gun stuff in it, like Bond,
except on
going missing, and then it also had I think it had a bit of GoldenEye in it, but not a lot.
Not too much, no.
Spectre was Bond basically going rogue, and that's a great idea, but execution matters.
Everybody's saying that's ripping off of Mission Impossible 5, but it's very, very
Mission Impossible ripped off James Bond first it ripped off The movies
And
ripped
the
off
TV
James Bond, then it
series.
ripped off The Matrix.
I haven't seen Mission Impossible 5. I've only seen the 4th Mission Impossible movie. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I do like how they go with practical effects.
I love Rogue Nation, but
with the second
I think
movie,
it's stupid to say the Spectre's Rogue Nation.
With the second movie between Cruise and I think it was Naomi Harris in there, who coincidentally plays Moneypenny in these new films, someone apparently, you can tell someone said, we need to make the Mission Impossible movies more like Bond.
Well, the second film is John Woo. John Woo is a terrible director.
He's not that bad.
It was John Woo trying to be like The Matrix.
Yes.
And James, it was trying to be like The Matrix and James Bond at the same time. The thing is that if it weren't for the fact that they had to have been written at the same time, I would say that the Mission Impossible movie was a ripoff of GoldenEye, because there are so many things that are just that are the same out of that.
I'm gonna go through the list of people who they wanted to direct this before they brought on Sam Mendes.
Let's look that up.
It's a weird list. Like
before Mendes, let's see.
Christopher Nolan was in works, but I don't think he would have been that good. I think I saw Ang Lee. Yeah, there it is. Ang Lee was attached. Yes, Ang Lee was attached.
Ang Lee's more of an arty director. I don't think he would have been good for this. I think he would.
Yeah, we saw it in the Hulk where he tried to make him.
I was just about to say that. Like I was just about to say that he was not a good fit for Hulk. He's a good director. He is good, but not the right fit for Bond.
So I don't think he could have been good for Bond either. No. Danny Boyle, who I think Danny Boyle could have done good.
Danny Boyle.
He just did Jobs, or Steve Jobs, not Jobs.
Yeah, you get those mixed up sometimes.
Yeah, you need to make sure it's Steve Jobs. Jobs is the Ashton Kutcher one. Steve Jobs is the Fassbender one.
Did Boyle do the Ashton Kutcher one?
No, he did the
Fassbender one.
Okay.
So I think he would have been. I think he probably would have been decent. He's probably the best out of the list here. Shane Black was attached.
No. No, thank God, no.
We don't need Christmas in Bond.
Yeah, like Christmas, because why not? And he would have ruined Blofeld the way he ruined the Mandarin.
Yes, I don't think he would have been good. I mean,
wait a minute. Shane Black did Lethal Weapon.
He did?
Yep, that's one of his.
He wrote Lethal Weapon.
But he also did Iron Man 2 and 3. Oh no, sorry, only 3, not 2.
No, Iron Man 2 was Jon Favreau. The reason that was because Marvel kept shoving things down Favreau's throat he didn't want to use.
Iron Man was studio meddling, which we're going to talk about that later.
3 definitely should have been Favreau. Because I liked 3, but Favreau should have done that.
Favreau is a really good director.
Shane Black I don't think he would have had the right.
Would you like to see Jon Favreau direct Bond?
He's too artsy, I think, kind of just like Ang Lee is. I mean, we're going to see him with the Jungle Book, where he's really breaking into his own with that.
Well, maybe, yeah.
So I don't think he'd be the right pick for Bond. Just like I'd love to see David Fincher, but I think David Fincher would be way too dark for Bond.
Okay. Shane Black is writing and directing the new Predator movie.
Oh God! Oh yeah, I remember hearing that. Oh God!
Well, he also wrote the original Predator as well.
Did he?
Yeah.
He did?
He wrote Predator.
He was in it too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in Predator as well.
Okay, well, I think we've gone as far as we can on talking about Bond.
Well, no, it's still semi-attached. But yeah, I don't think he would. I still don't think he'd be right for Bond. But
no.
Yeah, neither do I.
Who else was going to be tapped for Spectre?
Tom Hooper. I don't even know who that is off the top of my head.
Let's look that up.
Look him up.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Tom
I'm thinking
Hooper,
of is Mr. Hooper, or from Sesame Street.
He's from London. He's directed.
Directed EastEnders. No.
He directed The King's Speech.
Okay.
I mean, I would say no because of that, but Sam Mendes did American Beauty, so I'm not gonna.
He directed the most recent Les Mis movie.
Okay. That was good. So I'd say I didn't like it.
The most recent Les Mis is not good.
I think he'd be decent, but I don't think...
Russell Crowe cannot sing.
I like how we have 2 different versions of a song going on here. Anyway, so yeah, he was attached. I think I just thought of something. I think, do you guys know Alex Garland? I think he would have been fantastic.
Alex who?
Alex Garland.
He directed Ex Machina.
Yes, he did Ex Machina. It was his first directing film. I think he did brilliant with that. I think I want to see him try a Bond film. He also
I'm willing to give him a chance.
He wrote the 28 Days Later, Weeks Later series, and now months later.
He was the co-writer. He wrote Enslaved: Odyssey to the West and the latest Devil May Cry game.
Did he?
Who, Garland?
Yeah, Garland.
Garland's a good writer, though.
Yeah, Alex Garland was was one of the writers for DMC Devil May Cry and Enslaved: Odyssey to the West.
Okay, well, anyways, I got another actor in mind for Bond. I hope I pronounced this correctly. Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Oh, yes, the guy who played in 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah, he was also he's playing the villain in Doctor Strange right now.
He was cast as C until Andrew Scott undermined it by $1 million.
Yeah,
they cast Andrew Scott to save $1 million over him.
Yeah, Chiwetel Ejiofor. I'd like to see as Bond. I think.
How do you spell that?
I don't know. I think
ChiwetelEjiofor.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
I think it's Ejiofor. I don't know.
Ejiofor.
I've only heard it said a couple times because he's an Oscar-nominated actor. He was in 12 Years a Slave. He was fantastic in that.
He was also in 2012, which that movie's bad.
Yeah, well, we're not going to blame him for that.
No.
Yeah, that's Roland Emmerich and his usual nonsense.
That is a movie that didn't need to exist.
Well, it was just to cash in on the 2012 thing.
Isn't that most of Emmerich's movies, though?
Well, yeah, Godzilla, 1998.
Well, I
not
will
Independence Day.
admit that Godzilla...
Well, The Patriot and Independence Day are his only good movies.
Stargate.
I have not seen that.
It was good. Led into the TV series, that was good too.
The Patriot was an okay popcorn movie. Independence Day was an okay popcorn movie.
Independence Day is one of the best. Shut up.
Yeah.
That's his best movie, but that's not saying much.
Yeah, when he has Godzilla 98 under his belt.
Yeah. And 2012 and Day After Tomorrow.
What would you think of Vin Diesel as a Bond villain?
No, keep him away.
I don't know. That'd be interesting.
I'd rather have The Rock as a Bond villain instead of Vin Diesel.
Can you smell what The Rock is cooking, James Bond?
Like, dude, again, that's another one. He doesn't need to play a character. He just needs to be himself.
Dude, The Rock is a good actor. He just keeps getting stuck with awful material.
I know. I feel bad for him because he is a legitimately good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, stay away from WWE studios. If you're an actor or a wrestler, stay away from WWE studios because they make the worst movies. Because Batista is a good actor, and he was in one of the...
Batista is a good actor. Yeah. Johnson is a good actor, but those are the only two good things I can recall.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Batista's going to do. I loved him as Drax, and I absolutely loved him in Spectre. I want to see him do more.
And Johnson is also Black Adam for the DCEU.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, I think he's going to be good.
Yeah, I would love to see him as Black Adam.
I would have rather seen him as Jon Stewart, but my personal pick.
I think he's a bit too huge to play Stewart.
Yeah.
Stewart was a Marine, so...
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah,
okay,
I remember a while ago people were going on about, how there were some people saying, Idris Elba would be a great James Bond, but, let's wait until Craig leaves. And then other people were jumping on that, saying, "Oh, racism," because of that.
Well, it didn't help that one of the guys misspoke. I agree with what he said.
Yeah,
but he said that Idris Elba is too street to play Bond.
That was Roger Moore.
No, that wasn't Roger Moore. That was another writer. I forget who it was. It was one of the writers for the new Bond movies.
Oh, one of the writers, yeah.
Yeah, he said that he's too street, but he wasn't referring to him being black or his character. He was referring to him as the way he knows him, as Luther.
Well,
and
yeah.
he was trying to imagine Luther being taken over to Bond.
Stringer Bell as well.
Yeah. So he was trying to think of Luther, and he goes, Luther wouldn't be able to play Bond, and...
I think Idris Elba's a good actor, and I'd like to see what he would do as Bond if he were not only 5 years younger than Craig.
Yeah, that's his problem, is I think he sadly missed his time.
Yeah,
I don't want to push Craig out the door to have Elba.
I mean, he would be good as another 00 agent.
If Craig is done, then Jack O'Connell. That's what I'd go with.
If Craig is done right now, if we can have a Bond movie next year, I want Elba. But with the way
that's
definitely not going to happen.
He'll just be another Lazenby then.
If I would say that get Hugh Jackman in as Bond for at least one movie.
He's the same age as Craig.
Yeah, I can't. I love Hugh Jackman, but I don't want to see him.
He's
as
a
Bond.
great actor and singer, but I would love to see him as Bond, but his time has passed. I think the same with Elba.
Yeah, same with Elba. They're just too old.
I'd say if make like a side project where they get to be Bond in an Elseworlds Bond movie.
If I remember correctly, right, Idris Elba is going to be Bond in a book. He's going to be the voice of Bond.
Oh yeah,
let me look in here.
Yeah, he is.
I remember hearing that.
I'm looking here and I can't see that.
Still.
Yeah, like Idris Elba James Bond. That's the top Google search right now. I'm looking up his name.
Yeah, I think he'd be fantastic, but yeah, just sadly his time has passed, and we just barely missed out on the chance to get him cast as Bond.
Yeah,
but this is gonna
at
be
least
our next
he's good in the MCU.
15 years too old.
I want to say 15. I say he's only about 5 years too old.
Well, okay, yeah, I prefer Bond to start out at around 30 years old, but I can see him.
I think anywhere between 30 and 40, he'd be good.
Yeah, same here. Like that's why I'm willing to give Tom Hardy a chance.
Even
though he's probably busy with Mad Max.
I was just gonna say, what do you guys think of the idea of the shared continuity thing?
I really regard each film, depending on their actor, as their own universes. That's what I think.
I never did until Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig, we saw that he kind of did a soft reboot with Casino Royale, and then with Spectre, it's impossible to now connect Spectre to any of these old ones. Spectre completely threw it out the window with us seeing the birth of Blofeld, possibly seeing the birth of Jaws.
The way Eon does it is they kind of ignore the continuity when they change the actors. They just want to try to start fresh. But
then we have characters crossing over like Judi Dench as M, which completely throw that whole thing off.
They tell the same story sometimes, but they try to put a different spin on it to try and make them to keep them enjoyable. And I do appreciate that. That's why I prefer to go with the Bond movies.
Yeah.
And I see with Doctor Who, when the actors change, it makes sense. But with James Bond, it's just like, how do we do
this?
I like the code name until Skyfall ruined that.
The idea of it being a code name would sort of work, except for the fact that there are quite obvious shared bits of continuity between them, as if they're supposed to be playing the same character in a lot of those things.
And they're all the same universe. Like,
and then
007 is obviously a code name, but James Bond can be either a code name or his real name because.
But now we know after Skyfall it is his real name.
Again, this is the Anglosphere, so James Bond fairly common.
So what if they? Here's an idea. What if they just exclusively recruit people named James Bond to be 007?
That'd be
then
fun.
You got really slim pickings, and you're just pulling out of a hat, hoping that this guy's going to be in shape and smart enough to be able to be a secret agent.
Our most recent 007 has died. Who do we get to replace him? Let's pick all these random kids named James Bond. And
hope that one of them turns out okay.
Yeah, let's hope that one of them turns out to be buff, good with a gun, and martial arts and things like that.
And very intelligent, and be able to kill people without having to break down.
And woos women without even trying.
Yeah, don't forget good looking. We have to have good looking in there.
Yeah.
Well, the latest crop of James Bonds hasn't turned out to be handsome or
really
athletic
I'd say Brosnan.
Anything.
Was the best.
Oh, Brosnan and Craig look good.
Now we're just gonna have to skip it and move
Monica
on.
Bellucci looks good for her age.
Yeah.
I was just saying from an in-character perspective. Well, the latest James Bonds haven't turned out to be handsome or
make sure you get the right DNA in there.
Or they have
Daniel Craig looks good for his age.
Well, let's contact the Patriots, see if we can't borrow some of their cloning stuff.
I know, right?
It succeeded with Big Boss. We might as well do it with James Bond.
That'd be funny. That'd be funny. Metal Gear crossing over with James Bond. That'd be funny.
I had an idea where if Captain America didn't get frozen in World War II, that his grandson would have gone on to be the current James Bond.
I don't know, because he's American.
Yeah, but
maybe
Peggy Carter is British.
Sometime.
Oh yeah, his girlfriend is British, but the actress who plays her, her father is American while her mother is British, and she has some Native American ancestry. I'm serious. Look it up.
I believe you. I don't even have to look that up. I believe that.
So one thing I really have to say about Spectre is we missed this, and I forgot to put this in my review as well. Is I love the fact they don't call him a secret agent or a spy anymore.
Well, he's gone rogue. Well, he goes rogue, so he really can't.
But still, they never call him that. They refer to him in every sense, even before people know that he went rogue. They refer to him as an assassin.
007.
And I really like that, because I think he has moved past the spy and the special agent. He has become more of an assassin. And I like that they included that.
He's here. He's in your office eating lunch. That sort of. I loved his performance.
Yeah, Mr. White, he did good.
You're a kite dancing in a hurricane, Mr. Bond. That is one of many quotes that can be used to describe this movie.
You're a kite dancing in a hurricane, Mr. Bond.
What? Why should I trust you? Because right now I'm your best chance of staying alive. That's kind of how I felt towards the exit door. Why should I trust you? Why should I trust you? Because right now I'm your best. Because right now I'm your best chance of not wasting your time with this.
When did you end up finally scoring this thing?
I don't know. No one's had. I don't know right now. Like at the time of recording this, no one has looked over my review yet and published it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gave it a 9. I thought this was really good, but you're sounding like you go more toward a 5 or 6 or something like that.
No, something like between 5 and 4. It was disappointing to me.
Really?
It's mediocre at best, and
I'm putting this in my top 10 Bond films at least.
Not for me. No, maybe. I don't know. It's just
I just personally love all the callbacks it did.
Simply by the fact that it's a modern Bond movie, I'd say that it probably moves up to the top of my top 10 as well.
Well,
yeah, I think me and Alex here are on the same page where we like the new stuff.
Callbacks are good. They're not bad in of themselves, but I felt like the way I watched this movie, it's not as bad as this movie I'm about to mention, but I was reminded of Terminator Genisys. It was focused too much on calling back to previous movies rather than establishing its own awesomeness.
Well, I don't feel like. I think it did good on its own while still doing a tasteful job of calling back.
There's a lot of...
On its own, it's a tolerable, okay movie, but as a James Bond film, it leaves a lot to be desired.
There are a lot of movies that do that kind of callback thing without actually understanding what... Yeah, it's like Transformers... it's like Revenge of the Fallen, and that is a straight remake of Transformers the movie.
Prime is dead.
That is a straight remake of Transformers the movie, without understanding any of the things that made Transformers the movie good.
Dead. Except I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, that's how I felt when Blofeld, when he got blown up.
Oh no, Blofeld is dead. Except I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
That's the one of the major complaints I have about this movie is how did he survive that? The entire thing blew up.
Also, he has a scar on the right side of his face when the bomb blew up on his left side. What the heck was that?
Yeah, that whole thing was messed up, and I don't understand how half that happened.
Did someone forget to mirror image this whole scene?
Did somebody accidentally mirror image the entire scene like they did with Supergirl?
Yes.
Oh yeah, like ignoring Supergirl, I don't like Supergirl. Supergirl and Spectre are in the same park for me. Big disappointments.
Ooh, that is harsh.
Oh right God, man!
Disappointments. The difference, what makes Spectre better, is that the actors are better.
I mean, that's you can't argue that. I mean, Supergirl's actresses, but anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot take former Glee people and put them into Supergirl and say that this is going to work.
Yeah, it's like having James Bond wear a clown nose or a Darth Vader costume and call him James Bond still.
It's like getting Russell Brand in to play James Bond.
Yeah,
I could see him as Q.
Yeah, or having Christian Bale play Darth Vader with his crazy Batman voice that he somehow thinks is threatening.
Where is it? Where is and the night,
And we have fallen apart.
Batman.
He said that voice. He said he felt more ridiculous than intimidating in the Batsuit, so he did that voice because it apparently makes him feel more threatening somehow. I personally think it makes him sound like he has throat cancer and is about to die, so the criminals shouldn't worry. But okay.
It's like he tried Rorschach from Watchmen and failed.
Oh yeah, I didn't see the Watchmen movie.
I haven't seen that movie either, but keep Zack Snyder away from Bond. Keep Zack Snyder away from Bond.
I don't know. Again, you weren't here last week. I think you were against Man of Steel. I like Man of Steel.
I don't exactly hate Man of Steel. I dislike it, yes, but I do admit some of the people on my side tend to nitpick some of the smallest things. But a lot of people on your sides don't seem to acknowledge when something in Man of Steel is bad.
No, I acknowledge that there were some bad things.
Yeah, it's like there were some weird things with the dialogue, like you said with Lois Lane. But
also, Henry Cavill is wooden as Superman.
I don't agree with that.
He cannot do an American accent while playing the part. He's like, "Who are you? That's my name. What if I don't want my story told?"
Anyway, back to Spectre.
Yeah.
One thing that I really think we didn't hit on was M. Like, I know, Alexander, you said that, you said that he was one of the best parts. I think he's fantastic as it.
Oh, Ralph Fiennes is great. He's a great actor.
He is.
Yeah, speaking of M, wasn't Judi Dench going to be retiring from acting entirely after Skyfall, and then she came back to do more movies after that?
I know last year she was nominated for an actress.
When I went to see Spectre last night, there was actually a trailer for a movie based on a Shakespearean story. She was in that.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
Let's see.
She's in it with the guy who plays Barbossa in Pirates of the Caribbean, I think.
Interesting.
Jeffrey Rush. Yeah.
Yeah. What about Jeffrey Rush as a Bond villain? Because I think that would be great.
He'd be great.
Besides Barbossa, he hasn't done much. We saw him. He's an Oscar-winning actor, but
he's
besides
done a
Barbossa,
lot, but that's what most of us younger people know him as.
Mm-hmm.
But he was in the House on Haunted Hill remake, and he was garbage in that.
Well, it's a remake of a classic movie. I'm assuming,
right?
So of course everyone's gonna be bad in that.
If it's a remake, it's usually going to wind up not.
Yeah,
it's usually going to wind up dropping a bunch of references as to the original, and then not remember.
It wasn't like the original at all. It just shared the same name. And Jeffrey Rush tried his best Vincent Price impression, where he had the hair and the mustache, even though he claims it wasn't for Vincent Price.
The only remakes I've ever watched that I can consider good are the ones of 3:10 to Yuma and True Grit.
And The Departed. Departed's a remake.
Oh yeah, that Hong Kong action movie, The Bureau.
Yes.
I haven't seen either of them. I want to see both. I want to see the Hong Kong movie and then The Departed first.
The Departed was excellent.
It is.
It's got Leo DiCaprio, Mark Wahlberg, and Matt Damon in it, so it's gotta be awesome.
Directed by Scorsese with Jack Nicholson, yes.
Oh yeah, and Jack Nicholson did it too, so of course it should be cool.
But yeah,
with 4 A-listers like that, there's no way it can't be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I really thought the M was really good in this. I'm glad to see him take over instead of Judi Dench as... Yeah, I like Judi Dench as M, but...
Judi Dench was in Spectre. She had a cameo in Spectre.
I'm just glad to see M being a badass for once.
Yeah. Judi Dench just seemed to be too much in her chair most of the time. She wasn't really trying much. She's a great actress, and I said that...
And frowning. That's basically what she does. Frowning a lot.
He had probably the biggest shoes to fill because Judi Dench is a great actress, but I really think he not only filled those shoes, he surpassed.
Ralph Fiennes is more than capable. He's a great actor.
Oh yeah, I loved him in Grand Budapest.
Holy crap!
I really want to see
that. Judi Dench was in Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides.
Yeah. She had a small part, I think, in that.
Yeah. But way to waste a good part. Way to waste a good actress.
Why is it that a lot of the great actresses and actors are in so much crap these days?
Yeah, except for like Leo, you don't really see that. You see that too often.
Yeah.
DiCaprio is amazing.
Yeah, the last bad movie I could think of Leo in was J. Edgar Hoover, which really wasn't terrible compared to what most of these other guys are doing.
When was that? Like 2002, I think.
No, I think it was later. I think
Edgar
it was 8.
recently.
I want to say it was 8 or 9.
Let's look at DiCaprio's film.
No, it might have even been 11.
Oh, wait a minute. What if DiCaprio is a Bond villain?
He's too high profile for it.
Yeah, he's
good point.
He is way too good of an actor to play a Bond villain.
Yeah, I mean
that's why he'd be amazing though.
Let's see.
Like,
J. Edgar was 11.
Yeah, it was 11. Yeah.
Oh, 11. Okay.
He was.
But other than that,
he was the villain in Django Unchained.
Yeah, we all know that because that hand slicing scene. We all know from the hand slicing.
Like that was his real blood coming out.
I remember that.
When he rubbed his hand on Kerry Washington's face, that was his real blood. He wasn't supposed to do that. He improv'd that scene. His hand required stitches after that.
Yep.
He was so into the role, though. They all did it in one take.
Because I know people have wanted him for the MCU or the DCU or something like that, but he's too high profile. He's too much of a good actor to waste on a part like that.
And he and Tom Hardy are both going to be in The Revenant but directed by Inarritu, the same guy who directed Birdman.
He won an Oscar last year for it, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, Michael Keaton as a Bond villain. What about that?
If it wasn't for Birdman, I'd say no, but I think he's really coming back. He has a second coming, so possibly.
Michael Keaton's always been a great actor.
He's just faded off the last 10 years.
Well, he barely appears in a lot of films anymore.
I know, but then we had Birdman, which it was just out of nowhere. And Michael Keaton is like, all of a sudden you're like, where did that come from? He's now an Oscar-nominated actor, and he might do it again with Spotlight.
He was in Minions. He was in Minions.
Who cares about Minions?
I do. I love Minions. It's awesome.
I saw part of it at the drive-in. It was terrible.
It's a really funny movie. I love Minions. It's funny.
I haven't seen any of the Despicable Me movies, but I have not heard good things.
I only saw part of Minions because it was at the drive-in theater. Our first movie ended, and the other screen had it, so I turned it on for a little bit. And I'm watching. I'm like, this is so bad.
He was in Toy Story 3.
Was he?
Yeah, he played Ken in Toy Story 3.
Oh, that's why. He was Ken.
Yeah, so
that. What about Leonardo DiCaprio as Kyle Rayner?
No, he's too old for that.
Yeah, he's too old for that. He would have been good for that about 10 years ago, but...
I still can't see it now.
If DiCaprio were in his 20s, then maybe, but he's 40 right now, so...
It's just crazy.
Okay,
so speaking of Green Lanterns...
I think we've gone all the way we can with Bond, guys.
Again.
Yeah.
Okay, that's that.
We're almost like 2 hours and 20 minutes almost.
Oh my god, that's longer than last week.
Let's end this now.
Yep.
All right, ciao, guys. Hope you enjoyed our perhaps long conversation on James Bond.
Where we deviated a whole bunch.
Hey, it wasn't as bad as last week. Last week we got way more off topic.
Yeah, but we at least focused. We at least were able to focus until like the last 20 minutes.
Alex Trevini, was the one trying to keep us all focused on Bond, but even I went off topic. So hope you all enjoyed this. Again, I'm Alexander Trevini.
I'm Alex Shannon.
And yeah, thanks for having us on again. And hopefully you guys are watching this on our new OutLoud Culture YouTube channel.
If not, it's going to be going up on my channel again.
And if that's the case, well, I'm sure they'll be up. Both of those episodes will be on the OutLoud Culture YouTube channel soon. Hope you enjoy OutLoud Culture. Hope you enjoy our stuff. And have yourselves a great night.
Yep. See you guys later.